Welcome to GovCon Clarity with Dr. Lori Smith, where strategies replace guesswork and readiness replace wishful thinking. With over 4 decades inside government systems, Dr. Lori breaks down what agencies actually evaluate: capacity, compliance, and credibility. If you're ready to compete at the federal level, not just apply, this is where clarity begins.
Hello, this is GovCon Clarity. Readiness protect what ambitious pursues, and in this series, Systems Before Scale, we're building the structure that carries you there. Today is the episode where it all comes together. Across 11 episodes and 2 full series, we built frameworks, assessed gaps, constructed governance, designed pathways, identified metrics, and started the hard work of reducing founder dependency. And that's a lot of infrastructure. But infrastructure only matters if you can see how it works in a real business with real constraints, real pressure, and real stakes. So today we're going to do something different. I'm going to walk through a case clinic, a composite scenario drawn from real founders I've worked with over my career. And I'm going to show you step by step how to take a chaotic business and turn it into a readiness engine using everything that we built. So welcome to GovCon Clarity. I am Dr. Lori Smith, the CEO and founder of Elegant and the founder of Sonar Seeds Empowerment. This is episode 12, the finale of series 2, Systems Before Scale. And this might be the most practical episode we've done. Now, before we get into the case, let me trace the full arc so you can see how each piece connects. Series 1 gave you the diagnosis, the readiness gap, the 3 pillars, the agency evaluation lens, governance foundations, contract ready versus contract curious, and the pricing capacity delivery triangle. Series 2 gave you the build, the operating system, living governance, the readiness pathways, methods beyond revenue, and founder dependency reduction. Today, we apply all of it to a single scenario. So I want you to meet our founder, and I'll call her Denise. Denise is a composite, not a real individual, but every detail comes from real situations I've seen. Denise is a woman-owned small business with a service-disabled veteran-owned co-owner. She runs a consulting firm with 4 staff members and 2 regular subcontractors. The firm does workforce development and training for state and local government clients. She's been in business for about 4 years. Revenue is about $1.2 million. She has her WASP and her SDVOSB certifications. She has her SAM registration, and she's been told by multiple people that she should be going after federal contracts. So here's the problem. She's drowning. Denise personally manages every client relationship. She reviews every deliverable. She approves every expense. Her subcontractors send work product to her email, and it sits there until she gets to it, sometimes days later. Her staff is talented but underutilized because they don't have clear processes to follow. She doesn't have documented delivery methods. Her financial records are maintained by a part-time bookkeeper who isn't familiar with government accounting standards. And she's working 60 plus hours a week with no sign of it getting better. So she came to me and said, I've been told I'm ready for federal work, but honestly, I don't think my business could survive an audit, let alone a contract. And she was right. But before we go further, here's a technical note I want to make about ownership and control. There's something in Denise's setup we have to name clearly because it's a trap I've watched good founders fall into. For SDVOSB certification, it's not enough to be service disabled and own the business under 13 CFR 128. The service disabled veteran must own at least 51% of the business and exercise unconditional control over long-term decision-making and day-to-day operations. Denise's mother-in-law was listed as an owner, which on paper violated both the ownership threshold and the unconditional control requirement. One finding, 2 regulatory tripwires. Now, the same standard applies to her WOSB status. Under 13 CFR 127, the women who qualify the business must own at least 51% and hold unconditional control over both long-term decision-making and day-to-day operations. Same 51%, same unconditional control test, different statute, identical rigor. If the ownership cap table and the management reality don't line up, if there's a family member on paper who doesn't run anything or a manager off paper who actually runs everything, the certification is at risk. Fits the paper and fits the practice, both at once. That's honesty. That's the beginning of readiness. So here's how we walk Denise through the framework. Step 1, self-assessment. We start with the episode 3 scorecard. Denise's operational score was 9 out of 25. Her processes are in her head, tracking is ad hoc, and if she disappeared for 2 weeks, the business will stall. Governance score, 7 out of 25. No decision authority map, no policies, decisions made case by case with no documentation. Her capacity score, 6 out of 25. She can't rest, she's a single point of failure, and she has no support system. Her total was 22 out of 75. That's clearly in the foundation needs attention range. Step 2, her archetype identification. Denise is textbook overextended expert. Technically brilliant, clients love her, but the business infrastructure is years behind her expertise. She's the process, the quality control, and the institutional memory all rolled up into one. Step 3, contract ready or contract curious. Denise is contract curious. She has the certifications and registration. She has relevant experience, but her infrastructure cannot support a federal contract today without significant risk. The honest assessment is build first, then pursue. Step 4, build the readiness pathway. Denise's primary lane for the first 90 days is foundational readiness. Her secondary lane is sustainability. And here's what that looks like month by month. Month 1, install the operating system. Build the weekly rhythm, Monday morning project review, Friday financial check. Define the 5 roles in the business, even though 4 people are wearing them. Document the core delivery process for their primary service line, the one that operates 70% of revenue or deliverable ends up being one documented delivery process and a functioning weekly rhythm. Month 2, build governance. Layer 1 and 2, create the decision authority map. Draft the first 2 policies, financial management and quality control. Start using the documentation system. Simultaneously address sustainability. Denise identifies a peer advisory group and commits to a weekly rest practice. And critically, she corrects the ownership documentation so the SDVOSB and the WOSB realities on paper match the day-to-day operation control reality. The deliverable, a decision authority map complete and 2 policies drafted. Documentation system active, ownership records corrected. Month 3, we begin delegation using the document, delegate, disappear framework. Denise chooses deliverable review as the first function to hand off. She documents the quality checklist, trains her senior team member, and steps back from first pass reviews. She also conducts her first monthly governance review. The deliverable, 1 function successfully delegated. First governance review completed. Readiness metric established across the 4 quadrants: pipeline, delivery, compliance, and people. After 90 days, Denise reassesses. Her scores have improved. Operations moved from 9 to 15. Governance from 7 to 13. Capacity from 6 to 10. So now it's 38 up from 22. So she's moved from foundation needs attention to meaningful pieces in place. Her primary lane for the next 90 days shifts to capital and contract readiness, beginning to align her financial systems with federal standards, building her past performance narrative and attending her first industry events. Her secondary lane stays in foundational, continuing to document processes and delegate functions. By month 9, Denise has a documented operating system, a functioning governance framework, 3 delegated functions, metrics she tracks monthly, a government compliant accounting system, clean SD, VOSB, and WOSB documentation, a capability statement, and her first teaming partnership with a prime contractor. She's not bidding on work yet, but she's positioning. And when she does bid, she'll be ready, not just certified. Ready. That's the pathway in action. It's not glamorous, it's not fast, but it's real, and it produces outcomes that hustle never could. Readiness is not the absence of chaos. It's the presence of structure when chaos shows up. I hope you can hear in walking through Denise what I've been saying all along. The federal marketplace rewards discipline, not desperation. It rewards preparation, not passion. And it rewards businesses that have done the internal work, not just the external positioning. Now, as we close Series 2 and this case clinic, here's what I want to leave you with. You don't need to be Denise to benefit from what we built today. Whatever your size, your stage, or your specific gaps, the process is the same. Assess honestly, choose your lane, build your systems. Measure what matters, reduce dependency, and correct what the regulations require, and protect the human being at the center of it all. Now, if you've been listening to this series and you're ready to start your own pathway, take the Federal Readiness Assessment, download the Readiness Pathway Worksheet, and if you want personalized support, schedule a Clarity assessment at Archaeologist, and we'll build your 90-day plan together. Now, if what you need most right now is restoration, if lane 3 is your starting lane, continue to stay watch and explore what RSO and RC's empowerment offers. Retreats, circles, and leadership restorations for founders who need to refuel before they rebuild. Now, as we move forward, GovCon Clarity will continue Series 3. It's coming, and we'll begin weaving in more guest conversations, deeper regulatory clarity episodes, and real stories from the field. So stay connected because we have numerous projects that are being launched very soon. We have the Readiness Room, I have my Vetter Proposal platform, and the Strategy and Sanctuary newsletter. So follow us on LinkedIn and share this series with another founder who needs it. Not one episode, but series, because the progression is the point. So here's my closing thought for this series. You came to this podcast because something in you knew you were meant for bigger work. That instinct was right, but bigger work requires bigger infrastructure. Not more hustle, more readiness. And readiness practiced with discipline and protected with care is what turns ambition into something the world can actually count on. This is GovCon Clarity. Readiness protects what ambition pursues. So build what holds the opportunity and what holds you. Thank you so much for joining.